guys. In this video lecture we will discuss about the digestive system. So as we know that in our daily life we will consume variety of the food in our diets. So when we consume these food molecule in our body that are break down into the small molecules, and these small molecules are absorbed by our tissue and cells. When these molecules are absorbed by our tissue and cells, they are further break down into the small molecule. At the result the energy are liberated. Now this energy they are finally used by us in our daily activities. So here's the overall process. This is called a digestion. The system that are responsible for the breakdown of these food molecule into its monomers, and again they are breakdown and will give us energies. Now this overall process, the system that are responsible for this overall process, this is called as digestive system. So look at these points. So actually the food that we consume in our daily life, it contains the biomolecule, that is protein, carbohydrate, lipids and nucleic acid, that are actually present in our daily foods items that we consume in our daily life. So when we consume these biomolecules, so they are actually break down into its monomer or small molecules. So when the breakdown of the protein occurs, they will mainly form the amino acids. When carbohydrate that are break down into the glucose, lipid are finally break down into fatty acid and glycerol, and simply nucleic acid are converted into the nucleotides. So these monomers there are again used by the cell. At the result they will give us energy, and this energy it will use in various type of the activity in our bodies. Now this process in which the large biomolecules are converted into its monomers, this process it is called as digestion, while the system that are responsible for the process of this digestion, it is called as digestive systems. So what what the system is basically the group of organ that perform a particular function. This is called as systems, but here we will concern to the digestive system. So here's the various type of the organ are present. Now these organ have a specified function. So in this case the specified function of this system, that is digestion. Now this is the simplified definition of the system. Now here we will define what the digestive system is. So the organs that taken in food and liquid. So the organ here present in the digestive system, that is stomach, pancreas, liver, small intestine, large intestine, these are actually the organ. So through this part our digestive system we taken in foods and liquid molecules. So in this system the breakdown of these food molecules occurs, so they are finally break down into the substance that are called as monomers. So what happened to these monomers? So when these are again break down by the cell or tissue, that body can use them. So these products are actually used by our body. So for what purpose? So they are used for the growth, energy and tissue repairs. So this is actually the overall simplified definition of the digestive system. So you can also define the digestive system in a single sentence, that is the system mainly responsible for the digestion process. This system it is mainly called as digestive system. So this is overall the introduction of about the digestive system and its definitions. Now let us talk about the origin of the digestive system. So right at the embryonic stage, the embryo possesses three layers. The outermost layer of the embryo it is called as endoderms, while the layer that is present between the outer layer and inner layer it is called as mesoderms, while ectoderm it is actually the outermost layer of the embryo. Now from these three layers of the embryo, various type of our system they are made from these three layers. As you can see here, from the endoderms, the digestive system, respiratory system and urogenital system they are mainly formed from the endoderms, while from the mesoderms, muscles or muscular system they are mainly formed from the mesoderms, while from the ectoderms, nervous system and skin epidermis they are mainly formed from the ectoderms. So this is about the origin of the digestive system. So you can simply say that digestive system it is mainly formed from the endodermal layers of the embryos. Now, our digestive system, it is mainly composed of two parts. The first one that is called GI tract, or you can say gastrointestinal tract, while the second part of our digestive system, it is called as accessory organs. This GIT tract, it is called as, also known as alimentary canals. So here's the food molecule are actually, it will start from the mouth and end with the anus. So here some organ are also attached with the GIT tract or alimentary canals. Now these are called as accessory organs, as the livers, pancreas. These are mainly called as the accessory organs. Now let us talk about the GI tract. Now the first part of the digestive system, that is the GI tract, mean gastrointestinal tract. So it is also known as alimentary canals. So what the GI tract is basically is, so this is actually a tubular structure that mainly arises from the mouth and end with the anus. Now this tubular structure that are mainly arise from the mouth and end with the anus, this tubular structure, it is basically called as the GI tract or alimentary canals. So in human it is about 30 feet in length. So this is about the length of this GI tract. Now this GI tract, it is mainly made from the two type of the organs. The first one, that is primary digestive organs. The second one, that is accessory digestive organs. Now what the primary digestive organ is? So this is the part of the GI tract or the organ which where's actual process of digestion occurs. Now this is called as primary digestive organs that are mainly responsible for the process of digestion. So what is the accessory digestive organs? So these are basically the organ which help the primary digestive organ and the process of digestion. So here in the primary digestive organs, the process of digestion occurs, while the accessory digestive organ that mainly help the primary digestive organ and this process of digestion. So this is actually the accessory digestive organs. Now what are the organs that are mainly comes in the primary digestive organs and accessory digestive organs? So these are actually the primary digestive organ that mainly include mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestines, large intestine. So these are actually the primary digestive organ where the process of digestion occurs. So you can see here accessory digestive organs. It contains teeth, tongue, salivary glands, livers, gallbladders, and exocrine part of the pancreas. So these are actually the accessory digestive organs. So these accessory digestive organs which mainly help to the primary digestive organs and their process of digestions. So this is about the GI tract. Now let us discuss the anatomy of the GI tract or the wall of the GI tract. Now the wall of the gastrointestinal tract, it is formed by the four layers. Now these are the four layers that are mainly present in the wall of the GI tract. The innermost layer of the GI tract, it is called as mucus layers, while the second layer that is present above the mucus layer, it is called as submucous layers, while the third one, that is the muscular layers, while the outermost layer of the GI tract, it is called as serous layers. Now look at the structure of the wall of the GI tree. So here's these are the four layers that are mainly present in the GI tract. So this is actually the outermost layer. This is called as serous layer, or you can say the serosa, while inner to the serous layer, the muscular layer, it is present. Now here the two type of muscle is shown in the figures. So these are actually the longitudinal muscles, while here these are actually the circular muscles. Now in and to the inner side of this muscular layers, the submucosa layer. So this color, it show the submucosa layers. The blue color mainly show the submucosa layers. Now the innermost layer it is called as mucus layers. Now this layer it is mainly further it is further divided into three layers. That is the inner layer that is called as epithelium, while the next one that is lamina propria, while the other one that is muscularis mucosa. So this is what all the walls that are mainly present in the GI tract. Now let us discuss each layer and details. Now the first layer that is the mucous layers. So this is actually the innermost layer of the GI tract. So it is the innermost layer of the wall of the GI tract. Now the second point that is it is also known as gastrointestinal mucosa, are simply called as mucous membrane. So this is actually the other name used for the mucous layer of the GI tract. So we talk about the location of the mucous layer. So it is actually present, it faces the cavity or the lumen of the GI tract. So it is present near to the cavity or the lumen of the GI tract. Now this mucous layer it is further divided into three layers. So the innermost layer that is epithelial lining. So the second one that is lamina propria, while the other one that is muscularis mucosa. Now what is epithelial lining? So this is actually the layer of the mucosa that is it is in contact with the content of the GI tract. So any type of the content that is mainly fast in the GI tract, so it is actually in contact with these content of the GI tracts. So while this layer it is actually very in different part of the bodies. So if we talk about the mouth, pharynx and esophagus, so this part it will contain the stratified sequamous epithelial cells, while those epithelial cells that are found in the stomach, small intestine and large intestine, that are actually the columnar epithelial cell, are present in the stomach, small intestine and large intestine. Now onto the outer side of this epithelial lining, the lamina propria it is present. So this layer it is actually formed by the connective tissues. Now this connective tissue it will contain further fibroblast, macrophages and lymphocyte are present. So this epithelial line it is actually protect the walls of the GI tract by secreting mucosa, while the lamina propria it have the macrophage, so it will kill the microorganism that enter into the GI tract, while into the outer layer of this mucosa membrane it is called as muscularis mucosa. While this lamina propria it is also present in the esophagus, small stomach, small intestine and large intestine. It means that the lamina propria and muscularis mucosa it is absent in the mouth, pharynx. These two layers are absent. So these are basically the three layer of the mucosa layers. That is the inner one that is epithelium. So this structure, this layer it is basically called as epithelial lining, while onto the outer side of this epithelium lining, lamina propria it is located. So this is actually the lamina propria, while onto the outer side of this lamina propria, this is actually the muscularis mucosa. So this is about the mucous layer of the GI tract. Now the second layer of the GI tract that is submucosal layer. So this layer it is actually present onto and to the outer side of the mucous layers. Now this layer it is basically present in the esophagus, stomach, small and large intestine. It means then this layer it is basically absent in the mouth and pharynx. Now second point that is it contain collagen fiber, elastic fiber and few cell of the connective tissue. They are present in the submucosal layer of the GI tract. So here it possesses the blood vessel, lymphatic vessel and nerve flexes are present in the submucosal layer of the GI tract. So this is actually the layer that possesses these blood vessel and lymphatic vessel. Now the third layer that is mainly located to the outer side of the submucosal layer, that is called as muscular layer. As we know that muscle are actually of three types. The first one that is smooth muscle, second one is skeletal muscle, and third one that is the cardiac muscle. So cardiac muscle are basically located in the hearts. Now the remaining two, the smooth muscle and skeletal muscle, that are actually present in the GIT tract. Now the smooth muscle, they are basically located in the stomach, small and large intestine. It means that these smooth muscle are involuntary muscles. So these muscles are located in this part of the GIT tract. Now the skeletal muscle, which is basically called as voluntary muscles. Now these muscles are basically located in the legs, cheeks and pharynx, while the part of the digestive tract that possesses both smooth muscle and skeletal muscle, that is called as esophagus. Now this esophagus is possess both type of the muscle, that is smooth muscle as well as the skeletal muscle. Now the outermost layer of the GIT tract, that is called as serous layers. So this is basically the outermost layer of the wall of the GIT tract. Now the other term that is used for this serous layer, it is also called as serosa, or simply called as serous membranes. So this is the other term used for the serous membrane. So it mainly possesses the connective tissue and mesoepithelial cells that are mainly present in the serous layers. So finally, this is the overall anatomy of the GIT tract. Now what is the function of the digestive system? Now look at the first function of the digestive system, that is ingestion or consumption of the food substance. Ingestion simply called as the intake of the food substance or material, it is called as ingestion. So ingestion, it is actually the first function of the digestive system. Now the second function, that breaking them into the small particle. Now if we intake this food substance into the body, now here the breakdown of these food molecule occur into the small particle. Now what happen in the second and the third function of the digestive system? Transport of small particle to different area of the GIT tract. As in the second function, the breakdown of these food substance occur into the small particle. Now the transport of these small particle occur to the different area of the GIT tract. Now what happened to this after the transport of this small particle? Now the fourth function of this digestive system, that the secretion of necessary enzyme for the digestion. So here the enzyme that are responsible for the digestion of these food, a small particle, they will secrete, the digestive system, it will secrete that necessary enzyme. Now after the action of this enzyme, finally the food substance are digested. Now the fifth function, that is absorption of the digestive product. When the secretion of enzyme occur, so finally these small particles are converted into the digestive product that we call as nutrient. Now these nutrients are absorbed through this digestive system. Now the last function, that removal of unwanted substance from the body. So when the necessary substance that is formed at the result of this whole digestion process, now this unwanted substance that will remove from the body, this is simply called as digestion. So this is overall the digestive system, its anatomy and physiology. Thank you so much.